Newcastle can make history at Turf Moor tomorrow night, an 8th straight Premier League win over Burnley, a first league double this season as well, but injuries, suspensions and a desperate Clarets side could be standing in the way of that. Let's get into this preview for the game tomorrow night. So Newcastle head down to Turf Moor, of course, for the last game of 2025 as we see out this year, which, to be honest, hasn't been the best of years for away form this season. Of course, it started out really good this year with we're winning the Carabao Cup in March, of course, of last season. And however, since this season started, where away form hasn't really hit the ground running. We haven't done that well in the away games. We're absolutely amazing at home, however, but the away form is just really killing what could be a really, really good season, because we're flying in the Champions League. We're doing well in the Carabao Cup. Once again, we're doing well, of course, in the league at home, but the away form in the league is what is killing this season. And we're heading to our last away game of 2025 down at Turf Moor against Scott Parker, former captain of Newcastle United, of course. And we've already played them once this season on the 6th of December. And we won, of course, at St James's Park 2-1 against them. So this is a reverse of that game as we see out this year. It's going to be on Sky Sports Tennis, which is a bit weird, but at the end of the day, we're still on TV. And what's at stake for we're going into this one? Well, if we beat Burnley 2-1 at St James's Park earlier this month, hopefully we can do the same in this game down at Turf Moor. A win, of course, would be our first Premier League double of the season as well, which would boost confidence immensely for the lads and Eddie, which, of course, has got to be feeling the pressure right now with the way the performances are, and especially where we're sitting in the league. A lot of people are calling for Eddie's head. And to be honest, I'm not one of them people that want to really see Eddie go. Because I think, the guy can do a good job here, but he's got to change things up. He's not helping his situation at all at the minute. With the way things are going, I think we do need to maybe see a change in formation. I think we need to see Voltmere playing in that number 10 role behind Wissa, with Wissa playing in the striking department, and of course seeing Voltmere playing off of him. That would be, I think, a huge boost for we're going forward, with of course Sandro Tonali and Bruno playing in the CDM roles. Anthony Gordon out on the left, then, Anthony Elanga or Jacob Murphy out on the right. That's what I could see we're going with. At the moment, the defence, however, is a massive problem forward, because we're seeing our defence, dropping like flies at the minute. We've seen, Tino Livramento pick up an injury. We've seen Dan Burn pick up injuries. We've seen Trippier picking up an injury. Emil Kraft's got an injury. Jamal Lascelles is again injured. So we're seeing defenders dropping like flies. That's a massive concern for we, especially when at the moment we can't seem to keep leads in games when we do take the lead. So we do need to, maybe find some way of sorting that out. I think come the January transfer window, which is just around the corner now, I think we will, go into that window with the new sporting director of Ross Wilson, and of course the other lads that are there working the transfer side of things. And I think we'll, see some sort of recruitments coming in on that defensive side of things. But as for this game down at Turf Moor, we need to go in there with the right mentality. We need to go in that game against Scott Parker's side, and we need to be coming away from Turf Moor with all 3 points in the bag. It's a chance of an 8th straight Premier League win as well against Burnley. Joe Linton's set for his 200th appearance in the Premier League as well, if he does play, which I think he might. Bruno, of course, avoids a suspension if he's not booked as well. A 5th yellow card would mean a 1-game ban, so hopefully Bruno doesn't pick up a yellow card on that game. But looking at the team news for us going into it, like I've already mentioned, Dan Burns out, Trippier's out, Tino Livermento's out, Mealcraft's out, Jamal Lascelles is out. However, we do have a little bit of somewhat of a positive in the fact that Sven Botman is a doubtful player for it, so it looks like he might be fit, hopefully, to play in the game. If not, then it looks like it's going to be the same back line that we've seen in the game against Man United, which was Halsey, Lewis Miley filling in that right back role, which I've got to say, Lewis Miley's been doing absolutely amazing in that right back role. The lad is an absolute immense player. He just shows his talent. He's playing out of position, and you wouldn't even think it, with the way he's playing, because he's just absolutely amazing. That lad has got bags and bags of talent. Miley is just a true professional in every aspect of the word. And looking at the centre-back role in forward, I think we'll see Fabs probably playing in there again, and Mali Chow in there again. I think that's probably going to be the same back line, to be honest, that we've seen for the past few games, unless, of course, Sven Botman is fit. Then we might see, Botman going in there instead of Fabs, and Mali Chow being his partner alongside him. The fitness concerns on Elanga as well. We didn't see him in that Boxing Day game against Man United. That could be purely down to the fact that, he'd only just, him and his partner had only just had their ban on the 6th of December, the last time we actually played Burnley at St James's Park. And of course, with it being Christmas Day, maybe Eddie decided, that Elanga should be given time with his ban for the first Christmas. Maybe something like that. Or it could be purely down to the fact that he did pick up a little bit of a knock after the Chelsea game, and that was maybe why he missed out on the game against Man United. But I don't know, to be honest. Let us know what you think on that one down in the comments below. But any Burnley fans watching, going into this one, Burnley, of course, have got their own absentees coming into this one. They have somehow stopped a bit of a rot at the moment for Burnley as well. They were on 7 straight defeats. They have now stopped that with back-to-back draws. A 0-0 draw versus Everton at Turf Moor. Of course, home record this season for Burnley has seen them win against Sunderland and Leeds. They've drew, of course, against Forest and Everton, and they've had losses against Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Palace and Fulham. And on the absentee side of things, the injured players for Burnley are Connor Roberts, Zeki Amador, Josh Cullen, Jordan Bayer and Joe Worrell. And out on AFCON duty is Alex Turnsby, Lyle Foster and Hannibal, who are with the DR Congo, South Africa and Tunisia. And then, of course, a possible return for Maxime Steven, of course, coming back in for Burnley maybe in this game. And then the match officials going into this one. This is, of course, going to be Rob Jones, the Scouse Whistler. Third appointment this season for Newcastle's games. The previous results, of course, with him officiating on the game, has been a 0-0 draw with Bournemouth and a 3-1 loss against West Ham on VAR duty, which seems to be constantly costing us in games of late by either not giving with the decisions or giving decisions against us in games. But on VAR duty for this one, it's going to be Nick Hopton. I don't actually know who this person is myself. So anybody that does, please let us know, is he a good one or not? I'm not too sure myself on this one. I haven't really heard that guy's name mentioned too much before. And key stats going into it, of course, Newcastle's year-ending Premier League results. So in previous seasons, how we've performed in our final game of a year. So for last season, for the 24-25 season, it was an away game against Man United, and we won 2-0. the 23-24 season, it was a home game against Nottingham Forest. We lost 3-1. And the 22-23 season, it was a home game against Leeds, and we drew 0-0. However, at Turf Moor, our last 5 games have been 4 wins, with our last visit being a 4-1 win against Burnley. Well, will Newcastle end 2025 with another big away win, or can Burnley finally stop the run? Hopefully they don't, because I'd love to see we, of course, get, on the front foot heading into what is going to be a pretty interesting start to 2026 for us, as we've got 4 straight home games in a row, and them home games are, of course, against Palace in the Premier League, Leeds in the Premier League, an FA Cup game of the 3rd round, of course, against Bournemouth, and then the League Cup semi-final first leg, which will be at St James's Park against Manchester City. So 2 in the Premier League, 2 in the Cups to start it off at home at St James's. It's going to be an interesting way to start 2026, but let's hope, tomorrow we'll see the lads pick up the final win of 2025 and head into that 2026 fixtures with a positive mindset and a chance forward to, push on from there and start building up the table. Drop your score predictions below. Like the video, subscribe for instant post-match reactions as well on the channel, as I'll be doing the reaction immediately after the final whistle of the game. And as always, remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, turn on all notifications so you never miss a video on the channel, and I'll see you all for the next one. However, lads!